Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Sanibel Captiva Podcast. I'd like to welcome our very special guest, Shah Hadjebi. Shah is a local artist and has been on the island for several years now. Basically, this is going to be a different format. Obviously, you can see we're all crammed in here. There was 2.5 years ago, there was a rather special event. Hurricane Ian came and gave us a little kiss on the cheek. And about 1 week, 7 days before that storm, we recorded a podcast with Shah. And it never got released. Go figure. Because a lot happened in the next week. You're going to see on the screen here our old studio. This was the last time we ever recorded in the studio. And
it is no more.
Yeah, and it is no more. So a lot happened. We had houses to repair. We had to recover what we could. So Shah's podcast got put on the back burner. So what we're going to do today, we're going to watch through it and maybe give you some insight into what changed and what. I mean, to start with, look at the studio that we're at there. If you look at the background there, you can see that the water actually came up to about halfway up the walls in there, just below those lights that are hanging down the left, to just right behind where I was sitting. When the water rushed out, it literally broke the door in two, and the bottom of the door was just spread out towards the back. So the water gushed out so quickly. That the table that we're sitting there on ended up upside down. It was a bit of a mess anyway. But anyway, welcome back, Shah. 2.5 years later, here we are.
Thank you.
And he's an amazing artist. Max and I just covered the Art Fest down in Fort Myers, and we bumped into him again. And we keep bumping into him. We're like, we've got to get this podcast out.
Yeah, every time we see you, we're like, we're going to get that podcast out.
So now's the time. We're going to do it. We're going to watch it together. If there's anything different from what was said back then we'll stop the tape and we'll talk about it. But thanks very much for coming in and doing this.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's run the tape.
I have a question. At any point, did we mention the impending doom of the hurricane that was in the Atlantic?
No.
We had no idea.
No idea. So it would have
first.
been probably down in the Caribbean somewhere at that point. A week. It was probably even further away than that. It wouldn't have even reached Cuba.
No.
We recorded this September 21st of 2022, and the hurricane was September 28th of 2022.
So we had 7 days.
7 days.
And we have a lot of false alarms. So when something is that far away, when the storms are that far away, we're not even considering that it may hit us.
Yeah. Right. We're just going
happy-go-lucky.
Yes,
right.
We are. Now look at us.
No idea.
All right. So let's go ahead. I hope you enjoy it, guys. Right. How did you get involved with Tower Gallery, and tell us a little bit about its history?
Okay, well, I got involved about 5 years ago. I got juried in as a watercolor artist, and I've been working there and promoting and doing everything that I can to get the word out about our gallery. The gallery itself is 40 years old.
Yes, amazing.
The building that the gallery is housed in is over 100 years old.
I know. Right. I love that story tell us about where it came from.
Right.
It's not always been in that location.
No, it was actually located on West Gulf Drive. And apparently they were about to demolish it to have a nice big house go in this spot. So Iki Matsumoto and his wife Polly decided to basically, what the builder wanted to do was just demolish it. They had 24 hours to get it out of that space. Yeah. So it took quite a bit of hustle to get that house onto the back of a truck in the middle of the night and move it down West Gulf and
down Tarpon
Bay Road and put it where it is now. And it took gargantuan amount of work to.
All right, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you still involved with the Tower Gallery?
Yes, absolutely. Never stopped. And Tower Gallery, actually, I think it was only a couple of months after the storm, they bounced back. Like
really? So that was my follow-up question.
Yeah.
So they're still in the same building.
What was the effects of the hurricane to the actual building?
So the building, I think, is blessed. I mean, really, the water went underneath the building and ruined some of the air conditioning ducts, but no damage to the building itself. Like to the artwork, everyone's artwork was safe, and they reopened. Even though the whole island was a mess and everything, but we had our annual sale that we typically have in October in March. And people came out in droves in support and actually did better than the previous year. So
right.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then going back to your house, which was on Rabbit Road, what happened to that?
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, the same thing that happened to your studio there. There's like over 5 feet of water in there. I mean, it was just completely demolished. We evacuated to a hotel, like a La Quinta in Miami, and our friends called us who knew kind of what this would be like and said, listen, when you go back, don't expect like there's going to be a foot of water and you're going to clean it up because your whole house is going to be completely demolished. So we're like, nah, I don't believe it.
No.
So, but we're a little prepared when we got in and everything was upside, as you say, everything's upside down, you know, and I thought like looters had stolen my big computer, and I realized I'm standing on top of it.
Oh, God.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a mess.
Yeah. But you did say you were able to save a lot of your artwork,
Yes.
correct?
Yes,
And
the former owner had installed a hand crank lift in the garage, and so I stacked all my original artwork on that and lifted it above my head, and the water came right under it, and every piece that I had was saved.
That's amazing.
That's
It's
awesome.
incredible.
That's
Right.
awesome.
And the rest is just
Right.
Yeah.
And same with us. When you left, did you think you would just be coming back
Yeah.
like in a few days? And
Yeah.
Well, we were
Just
so
like normal.
unconcerned about it. We went to Miami. We stayed with some friends.
Yes.
We were out for dinner. We didn't even. We're just like, okay, we'll go over to Miami or Fort Lauderdale. We'll get up in the morning. We'll come back after the storm has passed, and life back to normal. But obviously not the. You know, we're in the house here in Fort Myers, and
Yes.
this had a couple of feet of water in it. So studio, as we said, ended up upside down. But you saved your artwork. That's
Yes.
awesome.
That's the
awesome.
most important thing.
Right. And just describe what Tower Gallery is, just in case people don't know.
Okay.
What's the concept of the Tower Gallery?
It's a cooperative, and now it's over 40 years, also a couple of 42 somewhat years. And there's 22 artists in that gallery, and they all get juried in. They're all fine artists. And
All right, let's hold it there because we talk about this.
Okay.
Oh, we do.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
All right. Yeah. I mean, 2.5 years, I can't remember.
Let's see if my story changes.
Right.
Create what it is.
Right. So that was in 1970s.
In the 80s. I
Oh, it
believe.
was in the 80s.
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
Early
that's
80s,
right. Early
yes.
80s, they moved that.
Nice math, Mom.
That used to be Ike Matsumoto's gallery, and had a frame shop upstairs. And,
Did he live there?
I think
as
he may
well?
have lived upstairs for a while.
Okay.
He moved around quite a bit. I know he moved.
One thing, I don't think he lived there, but
Okay.
he had a frame shop upstairs, and he had the whole building. Eventually, he rented half of it to Tower Gallery.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay. So, and do we talk about who Ike Matsumoto is? In
We
this?
talk about
Yes.
it.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
good. All right.
About 40 times
Right. I have heard
throughout
that.
the years. So
And if people don't know, tell us who Ike Matsumoto is and his connection with the
Ike
island.
Matsumoto, yes, he's one of the most iconic and best-known artists of Sanibel Island. And, nearly every home on this island has a piece of his work.
That's true.
Be it a print or an original.
Yeah.
He was invited to the White House. He's just quite well known, of course. My friend Steve Zari wrote a book about him.
Right. It's called Captivated, I think.
Yes, yes.
And we did have a podcast with Steve, so
Yes.
check that one out. Do you remember what episode that was?
Yeah, Max, you have a look up and let us know what podcast that was that
Yeah.
we interviewed Steve, and he did write the book all about it. Icky and his wife Polly have now passed away, but they are still, like you say, their art is everywhere.
Yes.
You look.
Yes, they're very well known. And so at some point, when they had their gallery, they invited Tower Gallery. Tower Gallery used to be in Bell Tower in Fort Myers initially. That's hence the name Tower
Yes.
Gallery. And they invited the gallery to come to share a portion, a very small portion of the downstairs area.
Right. They invited other artists
The
too.
other artists, and basically Tower is a co-op, so they got together all their artists and they moved in.
Right.
And throughout the years it evolved, and as Ike moved on and the Tower Gallery took over the downstairs, upstairs was still a frame shop, then eventually they took over the upstairs. It grew, and it's been really a very iconic gallery on this island and the vicinity. It's the longest running gallery in this entire Lee County,
Southwest Florida area.
And how many artists do you have in there currently?
Currently, it fluctuates, but I believe currently it's around 25 artists
Really?
over there, yes. And
Wow. So that's still true?
I think it's 22 now.
22.
Might have dropped, but
Right.
it does fluctuate. So we're always looking to fill those.
Okay, so you are looking for people, or if anybody out there is.
Yes, if anybody's interested, they can always apply, and the application process is pretty easy.
Okay, let's carry on because we talk about that.
All right, let's.
It's always changing. And the process, there's a pretty rigorous jury process to get into the gallery.
You said it was easy.
Explain that.
Well,
It might have changed.
It's a rigorous easy.
filling the application is easy, but getting into it is very hard.
Okay.
It's juried.
Read into that what you will. All right, let's press on.
If you wanted to actually be an artist, what do you have to do?
Well, there's a group of 5 artists. It's a very nerve-wracking process.
I bet, because you've done it, obviously.
But they're very kind and they're very nice. It's more nerve-wracking before you actually start the process, but
Right.
once you're in it, it's pretty smooth and good. And so there's 5 artists that are in the jury committee, and so you have to go in there. Once they accept you to be jury, then you go in with a few pieces of art, and you have to talk about each one, and they ask you questions, and you go through the process. And they're really careful selecting artists to make sure no 2 artists is alike.
Okay.
They don't want two similar exact,
Right, so they want to make it a good variety in the
good
gallery.
variety and very professional. Everything has to be done properly, even if the matting is slightly off. I mean, initially they will let you know
Pull you
to
up
make
on it.
sure it's all very professional.
Right.
It's a
So
fun-
you're a watercolorist, but what other formats are within the gallery? Photography, I presume.
Photography. We have 2 photographers currently, but their styles are very different. We have acrylic painters, some abstract painters, a lot of a few whimsical but very different types of acrylic painting. We have raku pottery. We're just discussing.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I don't.
Is that still true?
Yes.
Is that same mix?
All the same mix.
Yeah.
We have porcelain too. I don't know if I mentioned it, but yeah, porcelain and raku.
Right.
Really
And then
amazing artists.
at the time, you did have some Ikki Matsumoto pieces. Do you still have
Yes.
that at the gallery?
Yep.
Okay.
Amy Matsumoto still supplies
Which
the
is
gallery.
his their daughter. Correct.
Yes. So we still have a whole lot of his work, and he's still a draw for the gallery.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to interrupt, but tell us a little bit about Raku. You were talking about
Yes.
it before we came on.
Raku, Joanne Bedient is our Raku artist, and she's been in the gallery for, I would say, over 30 years. She's the longest serving artist,
Right.
and really she's been so instrumental in this gallery's existence. Anyway, the Raku pottery, it's a Japanese art of pottery, and the artist creates the work, glazes it, and then places the finished work in a metal bin, kind of like a metal trash can really, with newspaper or various types of paper in it, and burns it and lights it on fire. And that cracks the glazing, and that creates very natural looking cracks, and all the soot seeps into the cracks, and then becomes a part of the art.
So let's get this right. You
Yes.
make some art, and then you put it in a big tub, and then you burn it.
You just,
Exactly.
And is she still part of the gallery?
Yeah, she's still part of it. And she's
Wonderful.
quite instrumental in our survival, after
Yeah.
the storm and everything. She's
Right.
always has a watchful eye.
Oh,
over
that's
everything.
wonderful.
Great.
Sounds like Banksy chopping up his bin.
No, I think it's amazing. I'm sure it's beautiful.
yes.
So, if you're an artist in the
Yes.
cooperative, does that mean you actually work in the gallery as well?
Yes.
How does that work? How is that? Tell us
You
about
work
that.
3 to 4 shifts per month.
Okay.
and-
Per month.
Yes, and that varies, whether you work 1 long shift or 2. I mean, the galleries, nowadays, it's open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., but I believe we're going to extend our hours.
Yeah,
Hours
now it's
different.
now it's 10 to 6.
10 to 6.
10 to
Okay.
6.
Longer hours.
Seven
And that's
7 days a week.
7 days a week. 10
Same
to 6.
shifts?
Same shifts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 to 4 shifts
Yes.
a month.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
I think you're working tomorrow, right?
Yes, I am. All
Okay.
day.
Good.
From
After
10 a.m. to
season,
8
when
p.m.
season
on
starts.
season, especially now that there's a restaurant going next door, so once again.
What's the
Okay.
restaurant
We can talk
next door?
about
That's
that.
Cafe Italia. And the
Yes, I did hear
owners are
that.
lovely. They used to have a restaurant right next to Publix.
Yeah.
So, did that ever make it?
No. Sadly, they did not survive the storm. Like I think
The owners of the restaurant.
No, the owner survived. But I think it was a huge financial burden to get it going again. And so unfortunately, they had to just relinquish ownership or release. And then now it's run by Blue Rendezvous, which used to be in the corner of Tarpon Bay Road and Periwinkle. Yeah. Right. And they're very, very popular by reservation only, really good, high-end.
French
Very high-end fresh.
Now, did the people that own Blue Rendezvous, are they the same?
No.
I think it recently changed,
It changed hands, and they sold it to a young French couple, and now they have a chef that they brought, I think he's brought him from France, I'm not sure, but but they stayed on for a while, and I don't know if they're still there. Like they said, they're going to stay on for several months until they get going.
Get their feet underneath them.
Exactly.
Have you eaten there yet?
No, I just got a very small portion of the beef bourguignon, and it's out of this world when I was working there.
All right, so everybody go check out the Blue Rendezvous.
Yes, definitely.
Off the island.
Off island, Summerlin.
Oh,
right
yeah,
side.
yeah.
And their chef is from Naples, Italy, and their food is excellent. I've eaten there. They haven't opened here yet, but I've eaten the restaurant. They're
kind of having parallel conversations.
So the gallery sits at the front of Tarpon Bay, and behind it is the restaurant. It has gone through many changes, so let's hope that this one. Okay, this is my fault.
You're a bad
Bad juju, that.
Wow.
Don't get a blessing from Laurie.
That's crazy.
Forget I said all that. No, Blue Rendezvous has now been there for.
Yes.
They opened quite after the storm.
Yeah.
And they've been there for a couple of years.
Right.
So,
You're right.
Yeah. All right. We're all good.
You were good.
the following already.
Right.
And
All
they
from Paul Myers. Yeah.
So we can hold events, and our first one coming up, Arts from the Attic. They will be serving some appetizers.
Oh, nice.
We'll work back and forth.
Okay.
So when's that one?
There we go.
So the Arts from the Attic, did that happen that year?
It happened last year, but right after the storm, that October, of course, it was just impossible.
Yeah.
But surprisingly, we held it in March. We said, okay, let's just do it in March for this year only, and the turnout was unbelievable. I don't know where people like maybe Fort Myers, Naples, vicinity, people who still were in Sanibel, they all turned out in droves, and the sales, I think they either matched the previous year or beat the previous year's sales. There was extremely great support.
I think everybody just wanted to support Sanibel too, and the local businesses.
It was incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
That one is going to be October 21st to 23rd.
Perfect. So tell us more about that.
Yes, that's our biggest event of the whole year. I know people, before I even started working at our gallery, friends of mine from Boston that would come to Sanibel
just for that event.
Wow. My friend is an attorney. He urged me to go and check it out, and I had no idea I'd be a part of it at that point.
Oh, wow.
But he would always come, time his vacation so he could come, and many people do, because you'll get this basically the same quality art that we have, but a lot of artists have a lot of work in their studios and in their attics, and they bring it out at that time and at amazing discounts. You can get extremely good original work and some giclées for good prices. So it's a wonderful time shop. I mean,
so again, when is it? October
21st to 23rd. It's Friday to Sunday.
And what are the hours?
The hours are.
So I don't know if you want to speak it into existence, but are you doing another one this year?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And do you have dates?
I don't know the exact, but it's always, I think it's the third weekend in October. So whatever the days are, like it's a Friday to Sunday. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Everyone knock on wood, Lord.
So I think they even put tents outside, correct?
Yes, we set up a whole bunch of tents outside.
So it's not just inside the gallery.
No,
Bring tents
and the
out.
porch. There's a porch that we fill with artwork, and people come. It's a wonderful event.
And how about if you can't make it? Can you find stuff online as well?
No,
you got to be in person.
Yes, and I think really it was intended for people who live on the island, and the things are sometimes very pricey, and some people who are full-timers did not want to pay the full price. So it was like a special thing, but people have heard about it, so they timed their visit.
Right. And I think Tower Gallery has a newsletter, correct, that you can get on, so that you will be in the know about the one coming up in
October. If you go on the website, you can sign up for the newsletter. It's www.towergallery.net.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
10 a.m. till 5 p.m.
Okay.
We might be able to extend that. I'm not, don't quote me on this,
but
I'd say 10 to 5 for sure. That's the...
And what's the website for the Tower Gallery?
It's www.towergallery.net.
Still the same.
Right.
And then I think do you have an email list that you can sign up for?
Yes. Our email list is right on our website, and also, of course, everyone who comes in, they sign up for our email list. We have a newsletter going out each month. We're really working on, expanding our base and really giving a lot more information out to all our friends.
Right. Excellent. All right. So make sure everybody goes to the website, towergallery.net, remember, .com, and sign up for that newsletter so you can be informed of everything that is coming up. And
So tell us a little bit about your personal history. How did you end up down here?
My personal history, well, I have I've lived all over this planet. I'm Persian originally, but we're just talking a little before the podcast started. I lived the majority of my life in Boston, and I've been an artist from the get-go. I've been painting for the past 20 years, though, but I've been a musician prior to that, and I used to play in many bands,
And what's your instrument?
Guitar and sang, and later on I played bass. But I just played since I was like 12 years old on, and went to college, went to Syracuse University. We moved to Boston. We played professionally. We moved to England for a year and a half. Played at Dingwalls, all the clubs there, and we came back to the U.S. with the promise of a record contract that never materialized.
Are you still waiting for the record deal?
I'm still waiting.
All right. Any producers out there?
You never know. This could be my big break.
Alternative rock, kind of like not grunge, kind of around the, like the late 80s, early 90s.
What was the name of the band?
Society of Children. And I had long hair. And
oh my gosh. Can we get a picture to put on the podcast right now?
I'll send you one. For the past 5 years, I haven't touched my guitar, except when I make some videos for Tower Gallery, and sometimes I write the music in the background. Just hello.
Right. Did the guitar lad, did it make it through the storm?
Yes. For insurance purposes, no. Well, let's say majority of them didn't.
Good. All right.
But I threw a couple of my really good guitars on top of my bed, and some smaller original artwork I just threw in bed and left, and thinking the water is never going to raise above. The water was much higher than the bed. But the amazing thing is the bed rose with the water and came back down without any damage.
And saved it.
Yeah, even the quilt, everything was totally clean. It's weird.
Wow, that's crazy.
Somebody was looking out for you. For sure.
I don't know. It would have not happened at all if they were really looking out.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, true.
They got to keep a better eye.
But
wow, what a life you've had.
Yes, I've had an interesting life.
Yeah, very cool.
Buddhist curse.
And then obviously, when you pulled up, you have a surfboard on the top of your car too.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
I just started windsurfing on the causeway there. My friend Roy owns the surf shop on McGregor Boulevard. He taught me.
Yeah. Right.
So it's been a few months now, and I own my own board now. So I go every chance I get, wind or no wind.
You just get out there anyway.
I don't care. You see a guy flailing around.
So if anybody doesn't know, when you come across the causeway, if you look to your right, normally you will see a group of windsurfers. What else do they do out there? Kiteboarding, the hydrofoiling.
Electric foiling.
Oh, yes.
It's a great spot for it. It's nice and shallow, it's wide open, it's very calm.
Yes.
And windy.
It's
so
wonderful.
it's the perfect.
So, Are you still windsurfing?
No, but I found a new hobby. It's kind of interesting. This is actually it's a good story because I used to fly radio control airplanes.
Yeah.
So now I found an airfield in north of Cape Coral.
Yes, I've been to that.
They fly jets. So I bought a jet.
And no way.
Yeah, so I've been flying it around, and this gentleman comes up to me. He's older. He was like a Vietnam veteran. He with his cap on, and he said, "Listen, how would you like to do this and make some money doing it?" I'm like, I'd love to.
Yes.
So he said, okay, so it's not exactly like this fast, but it's to fly a blimp shaped like an alligator inside the Hertz Arena during hockey games. Like for like $30 an hour. I was like, really? So now I fly Swampy, the alligator.
No way.
So Swampy is the mascot for the Everblades.
Yes.
Yeah, and you fly Swampy.
Yes, I fly Swampy. I'm one of the there's like 4 pilots that, or whatever you call them. We just take turns, and it's kind of exciting.
So do you fly the jet anymore?
No, I fly the jet too. You know, and after, but right now on season, when I'm doing shows every single weekend, I have to prepare for everyone. I don't have much time, but I still go and fly Swampy because it's at night. You know? So
we went when we first.
We need a picture of Swampy.
Swampy.
So it reminds me, we saw an article in the news press years ago about a realtor who started taking pictures. This is way before drones, and he was attaching a little compact camera to the front of this RC plane called a slow stick.
Yes.
So we ended up buying all this stuff. I'd never flown a remote control plane. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to build it, strapping the camera to the front, and then we went out to that RC park in North Cape Coral. I think it lasted about 30 seconds before I smashed it to smithereens.
Right. And then you brought it back, you put it all back together, and then for some reason you flew it inside the screen porch.
I tested it inside the screen porch, and I just touched it on to see if it was working, and it just shot straight in the end of the screen porch. That was the end of my RC planes.
Right.
They are pretty strict about it. Like, you have to get an AMA license, and they have instructors there that will teach you. And also, you can get a flight simulator on your computer. So you can practice, because without it, it's really hard. Because one way it's fine, like a drone, you can see it. But once it turns around, it's kind of like a drone, except it's going faster. Yeah. And everything gets turned around, and it gets nerve-wracking.
So this guy must have seen some talent in you.
I guess so.
How's Swampy been? You haven't crashed him into any people?
You know, it's I have to say, like, flying the jet is very, like, you know, it's pretty exciting. But this is even more nerve-wracking because you're flying over like 8,000 people. And even if it gently lands on top of people, you just don't want to do that.
How big is it?
It's huge. It's like the size of a Thanksgiving parade.
Oh, wow.
Whatever you call it.
10 feet long?
Float.
Yeah, the balloon.
Yeah.
So 10 feet long?
10 feet, at least 10 feet. Like,
really?
I think it could be bigger. Like, I used to have a 30-foot sailboat. It's huge.
Wow. I've never seen it.
When they just blow it up? Is that what it's like?
You
a balloon?
use helium
inside.
And fill it up with helium, and it kind of stays. Every time you go, it's like it needs a little more. And then it's got these things like a blimp, propellers, that make it move forward and up and down. You have to weigh it perfectly because it doesn't have a down button. So you rely on it to just drop.
So it's like diving. You have to have it slightly negatively buoyant.
Yes, exactly. You put weights in it, and the temperature on the rink is different than in the backstage or whatever. So you have to balance it. So like sometimes it goes like right up to the rafters. And you're like, oh my god.
Which actually, I remember, Max, we gave you a helium. Remember you had a helium? What?
Yeah, it flew out the front door.
That was a birthday present.
On Iona. And then I was devastated. And you guys ended up climbing a tree with a dart, with a playing dart, trying to throw a dart through the thing so it would come down.
And
I think we got it.
We were playing a drinking game. We had a party and we were trying to fly it through the house. And we had one of our screen enclosures. So you go out on the patio.
Right.
And one of the screen enclosures, the screen was missing.
Yeah.
So it started going up and then it just disappeared straight up in the night sky. Yeah.
Oh no.
I was devastated.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
So back to surfing.
No more. I'm done with that.
And well, speaking of surfing, there is no surfing on the causeway right now at the moment. Anyway,
no, it hasn't been open since the storm.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things. Maybe next year it might be open again.
Yeah.
But okay, let's carry on.
And even if you don't do the windsurfing yourself, it's really cool to go down there and actually sit and watch people.
Yes,
so
that's perfect. Last time I was out there, no one was around, and I was way out by Punta Rasa, and I looked down, I see a shark go by. It was a good sized one. Normally they just go with the small ones. This one went, turned around, and started to come right for me. So I was like, what the heck? And I just shouted, I was like, hey! And it swam away. So,
Oh my
so I'm
God,
very careful
thank
not
you.
to fall in.
Like, give me a
Too
heart.
much of a chicken.
Me too.
Let's give a shout out to Roy. What's Roy's business name?
Ace Performer.
Ace Performer. So if
Which
you-
he is still going.
Right,
Still there.
He's got
Still
one of
there.
the best shops around here for water sports. He's got all the kites, all the
Yes.
windsurfers, everything, the kayaks and all the rest of it.
He
He's
does
got-
lessons.
He does lessons, and check him out. He's right on the McGregor Boulevard, probably about 2 miles from the causeway.
Yes.
Yeah, check him out. He does a really good job there.
And he's on the cover. He has a magazine on the front. He's on the cover of Windsurfer magazine, like up in the air. You know?
Give him a couple more months and then it'll be you. So, artist, musician, windsurfer, anything else you got up your sleeve?
Yep, jet pilot.
Yeah.
Jet pilot and blimp pilot, yeah.
Anything else you're hiding before we
Swampy pilot.
There was a movie with Ben Stiller, like he did all these things in his mind. I forget what it's called. The Amazing Life of Walter Mitty. That's
Oh, yeah. Is that you?
Anyway, sorry.
we go.
We digress from art way.
Way.
He went in a whole different tangent. All right, here we go.
Is that not enough, Mom?
That is way
That's more than
Hold on, we got a Persian, Bostonian, windsurfing, band playing artist.
Yes.
Who flies a jet and a blimp?
I'll call you.
Anything else? That's awesome. So tell us more about your, what do you like to paint?
I paint a variety of things, you know, and for each gallery, I'm in 4 different galleries around here. I paint different things.
Now
for
3.
each gallery.
Okay,
You're now in 3
let's talk about
galleries.
that.
Which galleries are you
Actually,
in?
now 2 because Bokeelia has closed for the season because they suffered damages during Milton.
Milton, yep.
So which of the 2 that you're
2
in?
Tower
Tower.
Gallery and Arts for Act is downtown Fort
Downtown
Myers
Fort Myers.
on First Street.
Gallery. So for Tower Gallery, I do a lot of local flora and fauna and birds and, you know, local cottages, etc. For downtown Fort Myers, for Arts for Act, I do historical buildings, you know, and all the buildings around there. So it's all topical. And I also paint a lot of cars, like very hyper-realistic watercolors of cars, like just kind of looks like photographs.
Okay, so even your art is
Diverse.
all of diverse. There's a good word
Which
for it.
photorealistic, you don't really see much in watercolor, do you? Really?
Some, but not as much, you know.
What's
You
that?
said hyper realistic, right?
Yeah.
And then you said photorealistic, I think.
I'm not sure.
I think
But is that still true?
I think more photorealistic. It's like, yeah, I mean, now I'd say it's realistic, not
Realistic.
hyper. Like I've seen hyper realists and they're mind-boggling. Mine are
Hyper realist not being more than real. It's hyper real as in extremely accurate.
extremely, like down
Right.
to every little. Mine, like the car might be very realistic, but the background is loose. You know, it's got a palm tree, like kind of whimsical. But
Right.
yeah, sometimes I have reflections of myself, and it's just. And yeah, I've learned a little more
Have you?
what hyperrealism means.
And have you branched out anymore from the flora, fauna, buildings, cars?
Building cars, that's enough. I think cars, building, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think, now I actually painting bars. I painted my friend Al's bar, like his bourbon collection, which came out really nice.
Cool.
And then now I'm doing a few bourbon bottles. It's like his bar is like huge, but it's actually that painting is at the Alliance for the Arts right now. Got accepted into all Florida.
Oh, good
even though
for
I
you.
gave the painting belongs to my friend Al,
You had to
who's
borrow
a
it back.
fellow artist. But,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah.
Very cool.
There's a lot of oil painters are can be very realistic. But my goal is to make watercolors a more popular form of, I mean, not even, I can't really quite put it to words, but I've been to galleries in Naples, very high end, and they won't even consider watercolors.
watercolor.
But I
Gotcha.
want them to consider watercolors one day, maybe not now.
Why?
I think it's important. I mean, from the time of Winslow Homer, I mean, he was a very famous watercolor.
No, I mean, why would they not accept watercolor? Is there a stigma about it?
Yes, I think from one conversation I had with a gentleman who ran a gallery, it's like, it doesn't last long. It fades.
It's not archival, I guess?
Not with the modern watercolors that we have, and not with the modern techniques of glazing. So you have very vibrant colors. They will last for a very, very, very long time.
Right.
And if you take care of them and you don't take the glass off and put it in direct sunlight for weeks on end,
right.
it will last a very long time. And it works even.
So how's your quest going for getting watercolor?
I'm not even trying to go to other galleries. I'm just doing on season now. I'm doing a lot of outdoor shows, and I'm in these 2 galleries, and I've been accepted to a few that are unbelievable, like nationally recognized, like Gasparilla, which I did last week.
And that's
with
in
my
Tampa.
In Tampa, that was a big one, and the biggest one is coming up. It's at Winter Park in north of Orlando, and that's like out of 2,000 artists, they pick like 200, and it's pretty well recognized.
you.
So those,
Winter Park is awesome as well. If you ever want to go there, it's a great place to
it's
visit.
beautiful.
Yeah. Unlike the rest of Orlando. Who said that?
Do you know the dates of that one? offhand?
It's in end of March 21st, 2nd, something like that. That was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in that vicinity.
That's awesome. Good for you.
With the
If it happens. Barring any extreme weather events.
Oh
That's mean.
Oh God.
Are we going to talk about your watercolors, Dad?
Oh yeah.
I was.
Oh, so this, breaking news. Since this.
I was trying to slide under the radar.
all right. Let's hear it.
Well, no, Laurie got me a watercolor class for my birthday, which was in January.
Nice.
And I've started doing a class at
Cypress Lake.
Cypress Lake is an art school in the local area. And every Thursday, me and a load of
Old ladies.
go and sit there and do some artwork. It's been quite enlightening. Actually, Cypress Lake High School has just done this huge piece that they're putting in Big Arts next week.
Oh, yeah.
All the high schools and the art club, they've done this mural. It's absolutely fantastic. It was in the art room. It's probably 10 feet by 5 feet high, and it's going up in Big Arts next week.
Fantastic.
So, yeah.
Fantastic.
So next year you might be exhibiting with Shah.
You never know.
At the
I think if you saw my artwork, you'd think maybe not.
Well, I can give you some pointers.
Oh, that'd be
If you
awesome.
let
I'll
me-
definitely
if
take
you
that.
Let me look at it. I'll definitely give you some
Okay.
pointers.
Yeah,
that's
each
awesome.
week, so they have a syllabus. So each week they're doing something different. So last week you did a flower, right?
Yeah.
Or the first week, and then you did a bowl of fruit.
Last
Right.
week I did a flower. The 2 weeks ago I did a flower. That one got pitched, and it got picked and then discarded. And then last week I did a bowl of fruit, which was the best one yet. So I've started to learn a little bit about contrasting and stuff like that.
My mom even wants an original from you.
Yes,
so
she does, doesn't she?
It's going to end up framed in Ohio, I think, on her wall.
Mother-in-law bias, though. Yeah.
That's how it begins.
All right, let's carry on.
All right.
pigments that they use works of Winslow Homer and Georgia O'Keeffe, and they're still just as vibrant. So I think that has to
That
change.
was the reason.
Yes.
Okay, so another mission that you have,
Yes.
like watercolors.
Mission, besides Tower Gallery to be known by everyone. At the
Right.
very least, everyone who lives on the island.
And it's still open 7 days a week?
7 days a week, we're open 362 days a year
Okay.
from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
So there's
and
no
longer.
excuse if you're here on vacation, if you live in Fort Myers, even if you live on Sanibel and have never visited Tower Gallery, get up.
Please do.
Please
It's been a
come.
while for us. We haven't been there
Yes.
for a while, so
Yeah.
It's worth your while because
it's constantly changing.
it's constantly changing.
Actually, I was there quite recently, just because my sister, we used to visit, I've been coming to Sanibel for about 40 years before we moved here, but my sister always loved Ikki Matsumoto.
Yes.
And she wanted a piece of Ikki Matsumoto's work, so I actually went into Tower Gallery because they still have some of
They
his
do.
art in there.
Yes, his daughter Amy still provides the gallery with, his works.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yes.
That's cool.
A lot of giclées and
Right.
such, but
Yeah.
he still has a space.
Yes, so I actually came in to actually see if I could get something for her.
Yes,
Oh, very cool.
absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, what are
Attic.
the modern day events that will be happening?
Then
So
things
you-
more that
really, it's almost over this outdoor season. Like March, I'm doing a show this weekend at Marco Island. It's called like Marco Island National Festival or something. And then 2 weeks after that is the Winter Park.
Okay.
And that's a big event.
Right. But anything else at Tower Gallery? Is it only the arts for, or the attic for?
Yeah. No, no more. That sale already happened. So, but there's one event coming up in March, but I don't remember the exact.
Okay. We'll put that in the show notes. Wow. So tell me the day in the life of Shah. Do you get out? Do you paint every day?
Yes. I basically every single day, 7 days a week, I do paint at some point. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not 8 hours a day every day, but every day I do paint.
Right.
And it's
still true.
Still true.
It's I still love it very much. So it's really pleasant.
Still true.
Still true.
And it's,
Still true.
It used to be a kind of a relaxing thing to do, but, you know, to get away from stressful situations. But now I have a very peaceful life, but it's still just as
still
pleasant.
True?
So
right.
No.
I paint now.
No, I'm just kidding. It's totally fine. It's just a small event. I think someone was listening. Like, really?
And do you have a space at your house?
Yes, I have a space in my house. It's just dedicated to my art. And
that's nice.
A couple of
Still
spaces
true?
for
Yes.
framing and
Thanks
such.
to
and
my
for
wife,
painting.
she always makes sure I have some space.
Right. But you do not live on the island anymore.
No,
correct?
I live in the Gateway area, which is, I think it's 27 feet above sea level.
You're high and dry out there.
Yes.
And the reason, did you leave because of the worry of the, I'm sure it's
Yes. Well, we had really no choice. Our house was demolished pretty badly. And, you know, it would take forever to fight with contractors and do all this for years. I'd rather just be painting.
Yeah.
And
just
so,
move on with your life.
Yeah, we found a rental place, and we lived there for a couple of months. And then my wife, being in real estate all her career, you know, she just said, let's just go look for some other, like, to buy something, but let's just look.
Right.
Let's not commit to anything. So, like, all right. So we had 3 houses to look on that day. We went to the very first house. We walked in. We looked at each other. We're like, we're gonna buy this one.
Really?
It was a big yard. The furniture. I mean, we had no furniture, so like we had college furniture at that point. Like we bought like.
Yeah.
So it was fully furnished and it was beautiful and it was right at the right price point compared to our house in Sanibel, which we sold.
Yeah.
You know, as is.
Yeah.
So anyway, yes.
Well, how about your wife? Let's give a shout out to your wife.
My wife.
What does she think about?
My wife.
What does she think about all your hobbies?
Only a person could say it that way. My wife.
My wife. she's lovely, and she's, you know, I was just saying, she's like Mother Teresa. She's like, rescues animals, takes care of elderly people, and puts up with me.
Yeah. That's the hardest
She's
thing.
amazing. And now, like, we have 3 dogs and a cat. And we used to have 2 dogs, a cat, and a fish before the storm, which had to travel with us. The fish survived 1,300 miles or more of travel to Washington, D.C. and back.
Amazing.
And he survived everything until the first day we moved in the house, he died. But Leo was a survivor.
He's the one thing that could have escaped during the storm and probably made it.
Maybe, but
What kind of fish?
it was a tropical fish, so I don't think the brackish water would have been.
No. All right, let's keep forging ahead here.
We mentioned I do windsurf. That's my new hobby now. I windsurf. You know, I have a very pleasant life. My wife and I and our 2 dogs and cat, and we just have a very peaceful, boring.
It doesn't sound very boring to me.
Rock and roll.
No. And I work in galleries every week. I work several days in various galleries.
Different galleries.
So I work at Tower, sometimes at 2 Islands, sometimes at Act Gallery, but not in Bokeelia. Bokeelia Gallery has differently. It's run just by the owner.
Okay, so you mentioned that what's the one on Captiva again?
Two Islands Gallery.
Two Islands. That's in the Chadwick Square, which is right outside of South Seas, open to everybody. So stop.
No longer there.
No longer there.
South Seas took that over.
Yeah, been there too.
Definitely.
They have different artists.
Yes, they do.
Which one did you say? Act Gallery?
Arts for Act Gallery.
Where's that?
That's on First Street in downtown Fort Myers. And
Okay,
it's a very
gotcha.
important gallery because they raise money for a battered women's shelter. And
they still do.
all the knickknacks, clothing, they have all sorts of stuff. All of that stuff, 100% of it goes towards this women's shelter. And the artists have various splits, and from that split, money goes towards that shelter too.
It's a really cool gallery.
Really great diverse gallery.
That's the one right on the corner, isn't it? Right on First Street?
Yes, it's right. It's a very iconic building. It's an arcade building.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. And that's what I thought. It's at the end of the Florida Rep.
Exactly.
It's right on the corner.
Exactly.
Yeah, on the back side of the Florida Rep.
Yes.
Still in that same
Okay.
Same
unit.
spot. Oh yeah. They suffered some damages too, but they opened a few months later.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to find in there.
No,
So-
it's just weird. It's good.
Yep.
So you discovered Sanibel, you fell in love with it,
So
and then
fine. I mean, we've been coming at like everyone's story. That I hear. I work at the galleries. I always talk to people like.
How did you?
And how? Yeah, I mean, we just fell in love with it was a choice between Sanibel or upstate New York.
Oh, okay. Wow.
That's a huge swing.
I think you made the right choice.
We used to go to upstate New York in the summertime for just a few weeks, and it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
beautiful in the summer.
I went to school in Syracuse. I asked my wife. I said, "Why don't we go in December and
see if you really like it?"
Yeah, and it was insanely bitter,
Yes.
cold, and so Sanibel won.
So that's a good choice. So you can vacation in the
Yes.
summer in upstate New York.
Yes.
I love. Do you still feel the same after everything that we've been through
About what?
about this area, Sanibel?
Yeah, I still love it.
Yeah.
Like totally love everything about it. This whole area, even the summers, the winters, it's all good.
Right.
I just love the lifestyle here. It's really wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we feel the same.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
we've all been through.
Right,
We're
right.
still-
It's beautiful, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy it's bouncing back again. If everybody asks me wherever I go, I keep pushing people to come to Sanibel.
Yeah.
When I do show Naples, Marco Island, whatever, and everybody asks, like, "Is it safe to go?" I'm like, "Yes, totally." Like, Periwinkle is greening up. The restaurants are opening up. Even Periwinkle Place, like Congress Jewelers, they're all coming back slowly but surely.
We just finished shooting
Yes.
all of the condos at Ocean's Reach, and all of those have been remodeled now, and that's opened up back up again. Absolutely fantastic. All those units in there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Love it. Awesome. Wow, that's great. So everybody out there, when you're coming to visit, come see Shah, ask him about, show you a picture of him with long hair.
I tried Googling the band. I couldn't find any pictures yet.
You won't find anything.
We'll find some eventually.
It's in my phone.
Deep dive.
You have to do a very deep
Right.
Facebook dive or something.
Right. Well, speaking of social media, is Tower Gallery on Facebook and Instagram
Yes,
too?
they're on Facebook and Instagram.
And what's the handle for that?
I believe it's just Tower
Oh,
Gallery art.
Okay.
Like if you search for it,
You'll
will
find it.
definitely come up.
Instagram is tower_gallery_Sanibel.
Okay. There we go.
Quick.
So follow them on social media
Definitely.
as well.
Yes.
And you will. What are you looking up?
I was just saw an interesting documentary about a camera lucida. Do you remember?
Oh yes, yes.
Then they had these modern artists.
Yes.
So there's some really famous artists that used this scientific mathematic contraption that basically had a small optical piece, and it was set on something like this, and you could basically look at your subject on the horizon.
Yes.
Oh yeah, probably wouldn't do that. Look at your subject on the horizon
Yes.
and look at the paper, and you could basically trace
Yes.
the outline of what you were trying to draw. And they said some of the most amazing perspective drawings were done with this camera lucida.
Yes.
And it was from, when was it from?
1400s.
Was it 1400s?
Why did you bring this
It
up?
was like from way back, yeah.
Because I'd literally been watching a documentary about it, and I just wondered if Shah had ever heard of it.
But they still to this day they use it. It's I mean if you're doing watercolors or any kind of painting, I would highly recommend it.
Oh,
Because
really?
then at least the drawing is like half the battle. So if you're like, if you can just at least get the outline right, like the proportions right, that's more than half. Your paintings will look so much better.
Really?
And it's no problem. Masters used it. Norman Rockwell used projections. I mean, a lot of masters used every tool they can get.
So
Don't
basically
feel bad
what it
about
was, it's basically a prism that
Yes.
you look through that way, and you can also see where your pen is on the paper.
Yep.
And you can basically go over the line of where the outline of the horizon is, or if you're doing a landscape or something like that. But it was pretty incredible. But I just happened to be up late one night before this, watching one stupid documentary that I was watching, and it happened. I was interested in it. But anyway.
Yeah, basically, 200 years ago,
Yes.
So, and they've said that it's now coming out that some of these really famous artists used it, which is a scandal and not a scandal, because some people say, well, that's fine. They were trying to get the most accurate representation.
That was the whole thing about the documentary was it ethical or was it not? But I've since read a lot about it, and they all say it's totally ethical and it should be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or, who makes the rules in these things anyway? It's ridiculous.
right.
Yeah.
And other people have a different spin where they say, well, that's
I
cheap.
think it's perfectly fine. Because
it's the outline.
if it's a professional artist, you want to get, especially if you're commissioned, for example, to do a portrait, you want the most accurate representation of that. So if that helps you at least get the proportions correct and the outline, and there's no way that will be the most accurate. I mean, but at least it's very quick and easy. So instead of spending like half a year, it'll take a few hours, to just get that right. It is a good tool, and a lot of artists have used it throughout it.
I have a question. Did you add those overlays, or were they already on the file?
I actually did it yesterday or the day before.
Did you? I was wondering if it was edited, like it was edited and ready to post, or if it just never got edited. So you
this
added
was
all this
partly
overlays.
edited, but all these graphics like Shah with his long hair.
And it's all you.
Yeah, we just did this week.
Okay. I never got around to editing it.
It's like magic. I don't think magicians want to tell you all the, the rabbit is actually right here. Just take it. I'm not saying that I use it, but
The rabbit or the lucida?
Awesome. Wow.
Awesome. Well, Max, have you got any...
I have some trivia for us.
I get to play the
right.
trivia this time now.
okay.
So
Because
what
I
we-
get to see if I can remember
So
the
what we've
answers.
decided, instead of Max giving us new trivia, we're going to try to see if we can remember.
Okay.
Remember the answers.
Oh my God.
I did write these questions, so hopefully I can remember something.
All right.
Do you have
Are you going to get the paddles
four
out? Ray?
whiteboards?
Yeah, I do. Here you go, Shaw.
Suck at trivia.
Well, you've heard the answer before, so this is just
Maybe
memory.
I'll remember, yeah. And my memory sucks too. So.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm excited. I never get to play the trivia.
This is great.
I wonder who won.
Ooh.
Probably.
Ooh.
I can tell you who didn't win.
Me.
All right, here we go. Ready?
Are you ready,
Two
Shaw?
Tower Gallery questions, and then one Two Islands Gallery question.
oh God,
Ah.
that would suck if I lose all of them.
You're going to be kicked out of the gallery, Shaw. if you don't.
So
Basically, Max is going to ask a question. We don't know the questions or the answers. You write it down secretly.
Secret, right? Your
Yes.
answer, and then I'll ask everyone to show their answers.
Right.
Jeopardy.
This is-
Final
yes,
Jeopardy here.
exactly. This is for all the money. You get to ring the bell.
You need the music, yeah.
All right. I think the first two questions we talked about.
I have been asking for a theme song.
Yeah.
So, Sean, can you get your your guitar mic out and make us
for this occasion, maybe. Yeah.
please? Yes. Yay!
All right. So we talked about the first two questions during the episode, but we did not give a specific year.
Okay.
So the first question is, Tower Gallery officially opened in what year?
Okay. It's very quiet around here.
I don't know who's talking.
kinda
Is this
gave it
modern day
hands.
mom
Yes,
or?
you did.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
That's on the recording.
Okay.
All right, Max, you go first.
Okay. I have 1983.
I have 81.
I put 85.
I have 84.
I know.
But The hint wasn't too accurate, to be honest with you.
Kind of like the camera lucida.
All right. Nick.
All right, I got 1993.
I put 1982.
1981.
Oh.
Ding, ding, ding. Because we just celebrated our 40th anniversary.
Oh, so
but
it was 81.
wasn't this year. It was last
Who
year.
got 81?
Oh, see?
Dad got 81.
You were tricking me.
Oh, no.
Who was right?
Dad.
All right.
All right, one for Shah.
All right, we're going farther back.
You know what? He just edited this the other day.
Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Wait a minute.
I did. And I don't honestly remember going through this because there was no need to.
Yes. All right.
But I might have seen 1981 subconsciously. So I won't enter anymore because I am the only one that has seen this in the last 2.5 years.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, God.
You weren't even
Wait, so
gonna
who was
say
closest
anything.
then? I had 1983.
I had 85.
I had 84.
So
Shah, you got it wrong.
He got it wrong. You got it right originally, right?
Right,
And then, got it wrong.
okay, so Max, you get 1 point.
Okay, 1 point for me.
Nice.
All right.
All right.
Good
let's
job.
go.
Prior to being the Tower Gallery, the building was a cottage on the Gulf built in what year?
Okay.
Crazy.
Mom.
What?
I can't. The conversations, discussions. I'm hearing them twice. I gotta focus.
And I definitely don't remember this one.
Okay.
So I didn't hear this one. But I won't put an answer.
You can put an answer.
Okay, I'll put an
You're just
answer.
not allowed to get points.
All right. All right,
Okay,
Shaw.
I'm
Shaw, I
ready.
want to see yours
Me?
first.
1920.
I put 1924.
I put 1964.
You're definitely wrong, Dad, because it's over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have 1917.
All right, let's see.
Spotted some wandering eyes.
No, because Chad's over there. I don't know what he's doing.
No, I-
I'm making a leaderboard and I have Shah as.
Okay.
That's a
no.
hard. That's a. Obviously, you have the correct answer. So.
What is it?
All right, really?
5 seconds.
She's only two numbers.
It's only 4 digits you have to write down.
She's changed the first 2 3 times.
Hold on.
We're going back to the 1600s now.
Okay.
14, 20.
40. Circa. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, Mom, you first.
Oh, gosh. 1922. Ooh.
Sean,
You put 24.
1932.
32.
Dad.
What do you have now, Sean?
46.
1920.
1915.
Oh my God. 1917. I had
All right.
Right
Before World War One.
my first entry into trivia, and I am sweeping
butt.
it.
Killing it. Yeah.
I did write.
He did write the
I
questions.
did write the questions, I guess, but I have no memory of writing these
Does
questions.
anybody have any memory of this?
No,
Like,
no.
It's like
none.
I'm watching
No.
somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Last
3,
one.
2, 1.
All right, 1915.
Wow. Wow.
It moved to its present location. Oh, I should have asked this as a question, but I didn't. 94 is when it moved to its current location.
Okay.
Okay,
Which is,
94.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 13 years, 12, 13
which
years
is the
after.
number I had.
Yes.
But that was.
So, but I still won. I still have the point.
You have 1 point, yeah.
Just to make clear.
Just to be clear.
So, yeah, I did read about it. It was just like a weather-beaten
Yes.
cottage, obviously, when it was built in 1922, just a white weather.
No, 1915.
15.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You weren't that
I
right.
got it wrong.
And
Wait,
there's
that called,
photos of it. If you come to the gallery right behind the desk, you see photos of it in its original state on the back of a truck. And as they were
Getting it
and there's a
into-
book, of course. Yeah,
Right.
booklet.
Right.
Awesome.
Let's
I love that. Very cool. It definitely, you can feel the history when you walk in there.
No ghosts. Oh, that's good.
Okay, so no ghosts?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Not 100%, but I have
Yeah, but-
encounters.
Okay.
All right, we
right.
spoke about how many artists there are in the Tower Gallery.
Is this the last question?
This is the last question.
Uh-oh,
We're gonna
right.
have to
We're-
ask.
How
we're
many-
gonna- in the fight, Shaw, for the win
Oh
here.
boy. How
Oh,
many
I-
artists, full-time artists, belong to Two Islands Gallery
Oh
on
my
Captiva?
God.
According to their website.
The Two Islands Gallery, which no longer exists.
Two
Right.
Islands Gallery.
That
Yeah,
was
so-
the one on Captiva
Right.
outside South Seas. So at the time, how many were there?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I don't either. All right. Oh, okay.
What?
You've been cheating off me.
Go on.
I have 18.
I have 18.
I have 22.
And Shaw, you put 17.
17.
17. I have 22.
It's a tiny gallery.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So this is the Captiva Gallery. How many?
Captiva Gallery in
The one that doesn't
Chapman
exist
Square.
anymore. Do you want to fast forward?
That's a total guess.
Oh, mine is educated. I know exactly. Not really.
You know exactly.
I know. All right. Now, Nick, you could come from behind and we could get
Yeah.
a three-way tie.
20 and a half.
20.
20.
I put 21.
This time 22.
27.
Wow.
Wow. How did they
I had
squeeze
18.
I love it. I got a point. Why?
You're not allowed to enter. You've seen this.
Apparently not. Didn't pay much attention, did I?
That's good.
I still won. I got 2 points.
Good job.
Okay.
And the bell actually survived the hurricane.
I've never run to
Hey, that was my ring.
All right, go on, Max.
Hold on. You got to do it in unison with Mum.
Actually, there's a lot of little jewelry artists and such. So
Right.
yeah, I'm just thinking of the
The main
2D and
I don't know what I'm thinking, but it will.
It wasn't right.
Should we end it there?
So, Laurie, you won by getting everything wrong, is that right? So
Essentially.
You got 21 and it was 27, then you got 1930 and it was 1915. Well done. I hope that's
All right. Somebody's not jealous, right?
All right, well,
Two different winners from two and a half year ago. Max won, Laurie won, and now the fast forward 2.5 years, Max won.
fantastic. Thanks
My own trivia
Thank
game.
you so much, Shah, for coming. Pleasure to have you. And everybody, make sure you go and check out Tower Gallery.
Or see Shaw on the causeway.
Yeah, stop, pull over and watch them.
All right, we're going to end it there.
Okay.
That was awesome. Well, thanks. There's a great
funny.
recap. Interesting to watch back and to think what happened
Wow.
between now and then. It's
Wow.
quite powerful
Such-
thinking back what happened.
You know,
We still haven't really stopped in the last 2.5 years just trying to get back to normal. We've still got things that we still need to fix in the house.
Yeah.
This whole space is new since then.
amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
but
Yeah,
look
it's
at
all
our
started.
faces now. Like we're so
We
happy,
look so much
go
younger
lucky
now.
there, and we look so much younger.
Yeah.
just as happy.
Yeah.
No,
true.
so
Exactly.
you know,
Just as happy.
It's wonderful.
It shows what's important.
What's most
It
important?
shows what's important.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
We're still happy.
Absolutely.
We're still happy.
Without a question.
All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us on this absolutely weird episode of the Sanibel Captiva Guide podcast. We have got a newsletter that's going out every Thursday, and it's been going 2 weeks now. The newsletter's always been around, but we only put it out on special occasions. But we will be going out this Thursday. What date is that, Laurie? Just so we'll be
clue.
held accountable. It's the 4th today, which is Tuesday, so the
the
5th, 6th of March.
Yeah.
And it will be going out and it will be announced in this video. So thanks very much for joining us. Have a great one. Everybody make sure you check out the Sandcap Guide and check out Shah online. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
worries.
Thank you.